Hello my friends, I'm finally doing my declutter. I will spare you the sob story, you know how these things go, but I do want to start this video by telling you a little bit about the format in which I declutter because I actually am quite fond of my system. It seems to work well for me. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at all my palettes by color scheme. So you're presently looking at my what I consider true neutrals, a little bit of warm tones, a little bit of cool tones, but all very neutral overall. The reason I like to look at my palettes this way when decluttering is so I can pick out the palettes that I really know I love, the ones that I use the most, the ones that they just bring me joy, as they say. And then I can, you know, declutter all the ones that don't and are similar, and I won't feel sad that I'm missing anything. So for every category, I'm gonna grab my best, I'm gonna tell you guys about which I think are the worst, and we're gonna decide what to do with everything else. Now I do need to have a, oh I hate to admit this, I need to have a trash pile for real. As you can see down here, I have some palettes that are very old. They are not something that I'd be comfortable giving to anybody. They're just too old. It's time for them to be recycled if I can figure out how to do that. And then I'll be keeping some. I will be setting aside some to kind of test out for the month of August and then decide what I want to keep and declutter from that pile. And then a lot of these I will be giving away to friends, family, subscribers, those of you that have been so kind as to send me stuff. I'll be reaching back out to you, see if you want anything. Alright, it's been enough chatter, let's get into the actual declutter. So I told you guys, these are my true neutrals. I'm gonna pull out my absolute favorite palette here, and it is none other than this Tartelette in Bloom palette. Y'all, Tarte was in purgatory for a lot of last year for me. I'm still really not sure where I stand with them, but I've said this so many times on my channel. I actually really love Tarte, so it's been very challenging for me that they have, you know, been a little shady. But it's a phenomenal palette. The quality is top notch here, just really creamy, beautiful mattes and shimmers. It's a gorgeous palette. I'm also keeping the Maneater for kind of similar reasons. I love Tarte's formula, and this is the palette that I've kept in my travel bag. I'm gonna put it right back in. It actually is for my rush gig bag. If I get called to be on set real quickly, I need something neutral, easy to work with. This palette is absolutely perfect for that. I think they came out with the second version of this. This is version 1, but hey, I don't care. I'm probably gonna get rid of a lot of the rest of this. So as I said, it's time for the Naked to go. I must say though, you know, for as old as this palette is, and it is old, the quality is actually somehow kind of still there. I guess it's a little more powdery than it used to be, but it's not bad. This palette right here is Makeup Forever's Volume 1 Neutrals. This was one of my absolute favorite palettes for a very long time, but something happened to it over time. These were originally very creamy, and they got kind of not as creamy. I've heard about this happening to people with the Modern Renaissance palette. For some reason, it happened to me with this palette, so I will be going ahead and giving this to the trash can as well, unfortunately, but I really did enjoy this. Very underrated brand for eyeshadow. Alright, we're down to 5 more. I'm gonna pass on this Marc Jacobs palette to a friend. It's the Starlet palette, and it's actually a truly phenomenal palette. These are beautiful shades in here. I just don't need it anymore, but I really loved it for a long time, got a good deal of use out of it, and yeah, want to give it to a friend. We're gonna do the same thing with this MAC in the Flesh. This is a great palette also. I would love to give this to an up-and-coming makeup artist. That would be such a perfect use for this. It's a really good palette, really nice, you know, mix of, it's mostly real true neutrals. But yeah, I just don't need it, but it's a great palette. This Milani Bold Obsessions palette is one of the best drugstore eyeshadow palettes that I've ever tried. Just really pigmented. The mattes actually blend really nicely. That's hard to find. Ooh, I have a lot of these. I probably don't need to keep all my Milani palettes. Ooh, let me put this in a Maybes palette, collection for now. Oh, no, I love this. I'm keeping this one. This Catrice Artist eyeshadow palette has got to go. It is underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Just, it's not a great palette. This right here is Real Her 2 shadow palette. Something that came in BoxyCharm. I'll see if a friend wants both of these, but I really don't like either of them. So these are my cool tones. I kind of have a little bit of a mix here. Anything from the, you know, taupey Naked 2 to the grays of Naked Smoky, but I think we can do this all together. So my absolute favorite here is, I don't know if this is going to be a surprise or not, but the Too Faced Boudoir Eyes, I love this palette. It's just, it's kind of a perfect little cool tones palette. You can do, you know, this grayish look. You've got taupey colors in here. You've got a, well, you've got a true Too Faced violet. But overall, it's a really nice, high quality little palette. It's still kicking to this day, even though it's no longer available. So that's a bummer, but I'm keeping it. I'm definitely keeping that. I'm gonna keep one of the smokier ones also. So that would be either the Milani Soft and Sultry or the Urban Decay Naked Smoky. I think, oh, this is hard because I actually really like the mattes in this, but I probably don't need more mattes. I think I'm going to pass the Soft and Sultry on to a friend. Even though I do like Milani, I have a lot of their palettes. And I'm going to keep my old friend, the Naked Smoky. I love this palette. This one's discontinued too. Oh, great. I don't have a current smoky palette. Fine. Go in the maybes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter everything else here. The Naked 2 is old. It needs to go. The L'Oreal La Palette Nude Intense. I never loved this. I also barely used it, so I will definitely be, you know, either gifting that or this could practically be donated. The Flower Beauty palette. This is really cute. Just don't need it. And the Australis Fake ID palette. This was really cute. I used this in a video in which I was doing Australian makeup, so this is apparently Australian drugstore, but it's actually really nice quality. Rose Gold eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the names of them this time first. Let's see if that helps you guys out more. So this is the Maybelline Blushed Nudes eyeshadow palette. This, of course, is a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked 3. This is the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted palette. This is the Maybelline Lemonade Craze palette, and then the Lorac Unzipped Gold. I'm going to tell you guys absolutely honestly in this section, one of the biggest critiques I see people make when other people are doing declutters is, oh, they only kept the high-end stuff. That's what's going to happen here. This Unzipped Gold eyeshadow palette is absolutely stunning. It makes the prettiest looks. I get so many compliments when I wear it. I actually get compliments with this particular color scheme more than most others. Naked 3, same thing, get a lot of compliments when I wear it. I really don't like the Maybelline Blush Nudes. I find it to, like, why would I use this when I have the Naked 3? This one is a little bit better, the L'Oreal. It's better because it's newer, but it's not great. What I'm gonna do is keep these because they're truly good palettes. I'm gonna get rid of these because I really don't need them. This is a situation of the dupes aren't as good as the original. There's going to be other exceptions to this rule. Stay tuned in this video. I'm actually going to keep this and play around with it in the month of August. But yeah, these are getting passed on. I think what it is with drugstore is that some of the more easy to access drugstore, Maybelline, L'Oreal, for example, I just don't think they're as high quality as, say, ColourPop, Alter Ego, etc. Okay, stay focused, stay focused. Okay, so this is all of my matte eyeshadow palettes. Wow, I have a lot of mattes. Can you tell that I like mattes? Okay, out of all of these, I'm gonna say my absolute favorites are the Too Faced Natural Matte. An incredible little palette. Once again, these are just great palettes. The Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics is also a really good eyeshadow palette. This Zoeva, I'm going to keep the Zoeva mattes. This is another one that kind of got forgotten. It's a really thin palette, and I found it the other day. Same deal with the Lorac Unzipped. They're skinny palettes, and they get lost in my collection. but they're both great. So I'm going to be keeping those two. Then we have, let's see, a lot that I really don't need here. I really don't need this much. I'm going to pass along my Tartelette Original palette. I don't need this. The Balm Meet Matrimony. I talked about this recently and said I never use it, so let's give it to somebody who will. It's not a bad palette, I just don't need it. I'm gonna give away this Urban Decay Kristen Leanne Kaleidoscope palette. This is a really cute little travel palette. I hope somebody gets a lot of use out of this. I just simply don't need it, but it's a really great little tiny palette. I said that really strangely, didn't I? I'm gonna keep the Ulta palette for now, even though I don't need it. I want to have something from the Ulta brand. Ooh, I'm doing all the cliche declutter stuff in this video. Ugh. Yo, my keep collection is getting too big. It's getting too big. I'm gonna pass along the Milani Most Loved Mattes. This is a fantastic little palette, but I don't need it. The Sonia Kashuk also. This is no longer available, but this is a great little palette as well. I always come down to this one. Like, I like this palette, but I don't use it very often. Shouldn't that be a sign? Shouldn't that be a sign? But I love this color. I love this for this color. This is so sad. One stinking color that is just that beautiful. Ugh. To the maybes again. So then we have my anything from burnt orange to reds. Let me go ahead and say anything newer I'm definitely keeping, as I do want to, you know, get my money's worth. So that would include the Too Faced Sparkling Pineapple Eyeshadow Palette. This is beautiful. I've really been enjoying this. That's a keep. Also my Chantilly Cosmetics Suns Out, Buns Out palette. This is such a good little tiny palette. I have a bit of a problem in that I really like the Tartelette Toasted palette and the Urban Decay Naked Heat. I don't need both of these, though. I really don't need both of these, guys. Let's put them both in Purgatory. Purgatory! And then the Juvia's Place Saharan, I'm going to declutter this. I just don't love it. And same with the Essence Spice Up Your Life. You guys, I have a little bit of a problem with this particular color scheme. For some reason, I love these hot pink burgundy type of tones. Getting rid of anything here is going to be really hard. So let me just tell you why I love pretty much everything here. So the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes is beautiful. This pairs so nicely with my Stila Glitter and Glows. I adore this palette. The Lime Crime Venus XL. I think that if I had purchased this before the others, if it had existed in that time frame, I might not have bought so many, because this has everything that I need. But I still can't get rid of any Lime Crime palettes. I can't do it. I'm gonna put Modern Renaissance in Purgatory because it supposedly is expired. It seems to be performing fine for me, but yeah, I use this the least out of probably all of these. This is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, and I don't recommend these mattes in the slightest. They're actually terrible, but I love the glitters so much, so this is a definite keep. I mean, it's worth it for the glitters. Natasha Denona's Star palette. So I won this from Tanya Feifel Rhodes here on YouTube. She is such a sweetheart. I can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of it because it's just, that's like a special memory to me. So, you know, silly sentimental reason. Also, the fact that I'll never buy another Natasha Denona palette. So, yeah. I will be keeping that as well. I forgot Wet n Wild just did some shady stuff, didn't they? They just pretended to be cruelty-free and then weren't. We're gonna put them in Purgatory. Purgatory's getting pretty full these days. So then we have the, I don't know what to call these, almost wearable colors. They're certainly not neons, except for maybe a couple over in the Lime Crime Venus 2. So I do have some absolute favorites here, and I can already see which ones I'm going to declutter. So, my absolute favorites here, these are my 3 subculture dupes. I'm only going to keep the Lime Crime Venus 2. This is my favorite. I guess I'm going to be sacrificing a couple of shades by doing that, because I do actually like the, this is the Revolution Division, and that's the Bad Habit Retro Love. I like, this color, but not enough to keep those 2 palettes. So yeah, both of these to the declutter pile, and this one to the keep pile. So then that leaves this kind, these are much more wearable colors in my opinion. The standout ones here, both the Alter Ego Goddess palette, you can see how stunning these shimmers are compared to my other palettes. They're really, really beautiful. I guess this is a dupe for, let's see, what's it called? Something by Natasha Denona. Wow! I'm drawing a major blank, but this is a gorgeous palette. Gorgeous palette, definitely keeping, and this one right here is one of few that I ended up keeping from my maybes pile last time. I thought that I would maybe learn to love it, and I actually did. This is, of course, the Master Palette by Mario. Will this make the only Anastasia palette that I will own? If I get rid of Modern Renaissance, yes. Both of these can go. I don't need either one of these. This is the Butter London Natural Goddess. It was fun to play with, but y'all, I never keep anything that comes in a BoxyCharm. I never do. I never do. And then the new and improved Wet n Wild Comfort Zone. I don't like it. Plus Wet n Wild is shady these days, so declutter. Okay, I'm doing a little bit of a twofer here. So I've got my purple, my soft purple palettes here, and then these burgundy type of palettes. Oh Lord, keep one of the BoxyCharms. I'll keep this Ace Beaute Grandiose palette. I don't really love it, but I want to at least use it once more. Let's put this in purgatory. Same with this. Since I forgot to pull these out when we were talking about burgundies, obviously I don't think about them much. So, and now we can focus on the purples. Okay, so favorite here is, ooh. Oh, this is hard. I forgot I love purples. Let me say that this is my new one, so I'm going to keep this. I haven't even had this for a month yet. This is the Too Faced Razzle Dazzle Berry. I'm definitely keeping my Lime Crime Venus 3. I don't think I can get rid of any Lime Crime palettes. I love them all. This is also brand new, the Shop Alter Ego Daydream palette. This is a dupe for the Huda Beauty New Nudes palette, and it is gorgeous. I love the shimmers in here. Good thing this brand came around because Bad Habit is gone, and it is really saddening. This is the Athena palette. It's so gorgeous. This makes me happy I got rid of my Desert Dusk because this is just as good for, what was this, 15 bucks? It's gone though, so, ooh, that makes it sad to keep this. I'm gonna keep this anyway. This one's going in the trash. This is the only palette I'm actually excited to throw away. Let me show you why. Look at this. What the heck is this? It's so powdery that, ugh. Last section, you guys. This is my neutrals with a pop of color, I guess. I have some absolute favorites here. Some mega favorites here. So let me start with this one right here. This Dominique Latte palette. This was a swap with the lovely Angela, and I fell in love with it. It turns out that these colors on the bottom, those mattes, are perfect for my skin tone. So it's such an intuitive palette to use. I don't even have to think about it. I just go in order, use all 5 shades on the bottom, and have perfect depth to my eyes. Ugh, I love this so much. Kind of a similar story with the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. I love this for the mattes in it. It's so funny. When I love mattes, have you ever noticed that they don't look like they're used? Because I like hard-pressed formulas. That's exactly what it is. These are hard-pressed, but yet very high quality. They probably don't even swatch well. Yep, they don't swatch well. But they blend like a dream. I do, of course, want to keep this. This is from a very recent haul as well. This is the Desert Oasis palette by BH Cosmetics. I haven't even had this for months, so that will be a keep. And then the rest of this, I think I can let all this go. Tarte Pro. I actually never liked this palette. We'll be passing that on. Too Faced Wet n Wild, Not a Basic Peach. I guess this was a Kylie Jenner dupe or something. It's not a terrible palette, but Wet n Wild is in hot water. e.l.f. Modern Metals. This one is pretty, but I just don't need it. Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar. This was my last chocolate bar. The only one. I had all of them, and I got rid of all of them. I think I'm going to get rid of this. Well, let me put this in purgatory. So that is my declutter. I finally counted. I'm keeping 26 palettes and getting rid of 27, not counting those that I'm undecided on. So we definitely have, looks like at least 10 palettes to play around with for August. This is, of course, only my neutrals declutter. I have not approached colorful yet. I need to get rid of these first, so I will be getting rid of these hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.